A pregnant woman just announced a 1,000-man gangbang on camera. Her baby never consented to this. What broke an entire civilization so completely? I do not write about women who have sex with 1,000 men in a single day. That is not my beat. My beat is news of the weird. Just not this type of weird. But I subscribe to this YouTuber, a Balkan construction worker who makes very positive motivational videos. The kind where a man who has carried concrete blocks for 10 years tells you that you can achieve anything if you just get up at 5 a.m. and stop making excuses. Genuinely inspiring content. I was surfing around his page, the way you do, and there it was. His series on Bonnie Blue. It was like driving past a 20-car pileup on the highway. I could not look away. Let me tell you about Bonnie Blue, because you need to understand what we are dealing with here. She is, and I want to be fair about this, a decent-looking woman. Pretty face, nice tan, pretty eyes. If you met her at a cookout, you would think, that is a nice-looking woman. And then, she would tell you she is pregnant and planning to have sex with 1,000 men on camera. And she would say it the way another woman might tell you she is planning to paint the guest bedroom or join a Pilates class down at the YMCA. This is the woman who got famous a few years ago by letting 1,000 men have sex with her in a single day. Her OnlyFans blew up. She made a bunch of money, and that became her brand. Getting gangbanged by hundreds, sometimes thousands of men in a single day. She loves the phrase, rearrange her insides. I do not know why she loves that phrase. I do not want to know why she loves that phrase. But she says it a lot. She also says she works harder than you. A few months back, she was doing what she called barely legal gangbangs, which is a phrase that should make any normal human being feel like they need to go wash their hands. She took a bunch of young men who had turned 18 a week or two earlier and let them rearrange her insides. These are kids who are still figuring out how to do their own laundry. And there she was, on camera, ruining their future for profit. Now she is pregnant. And she is going to get gangbanged on camera while pregnant. She says they will double rearrange her insides. I want to emphasize this point because I think it is getting lost in the shuffle. She has a baby inside of her, a human baby, a little person who did not ask for any of this, and his mother is planning to have sex with 1,000 men on camera. That is something that happens to people who have become, at the level of international diplomacy, a biohazard. I saw a video of her once, where an interviewer asked what her parents thought of her career. She looked into the camera and said how proud they are of her. Yeah. Bullshit. No father on this earth is proud that his daughter has had sex with over 10,000 men in less than 5 years. Not one. There is no culture, no country, no religion, no species of human being where a father watches his daughter get gangbanged by 1,000 men on camera while pregnant with his grandchild and thinks, that's my girl. That is not a thing that happens. That is a thing that happens in a very specific kind of nightmare. The part that actually bothers me, and I want to be clear that I am not a prude. I have seen things on the internet. I spend 100 hours a week on the internet, which is my job. And I have seen things that would make a medieval torture enthusiast say, okay, that's enough. But this is different. This is not just filth. This is the logical endpoint of a culture that has spent 30 years telling people there is no such thing as degradation. 30 years ago, the peak of perversion on the internet did not even compare to the average video on Pornhub right now. And I am not talking about the videos. I am talking about the fact that we have all just accepted this. We have become desensitized. We watch a pregnant woman announce she is going to be gangbanged by 1,000 men, and we scroll past it, because there is always something worse coming along in the feed. And all around her, there are these men. Men who cannot get a woman in real life, so they hand their money over to OnlyFans models they think are going to fall in love with them because they are spending $1,000 a month. They do not realize that the same girl has 30 other guys doing the exact same thing, and she thinks of them the way you think of a subscription to a gym you never go to. It is like that Johnny Cash song, the one where he shoots his woman because he thought he was her daddy, but she had 5 more. Except on a much higher scale and without the benefit of actual physical contact. I have not dated in close to 5 years now. I want to tell you why, because I think it explains where I am coming from. I met a girl on Tinder. We went out to dinner. She ordered the surf and turf, $60. She took 2 bites. Then she spent the rest of the date swiping left on her phone, surfing Tinder, while I sat there and stared at her. Pretty girl, college educated, told me she was in real estate. I thought she seemed like someone I would not mind spending some time with. I suffered through the date. I didn't think she was into me, but then she wanted to come back to my apartment. I am a male, so I said yes. And, without going into too much detail because this was absolutely disgusting for me, she took her clothes off and told me she had just been with 3 guys before that date, and they were still inside her, if you know what I mean. Gross. I threw her clothes out my bedroom window in the middle of winter, told her to get the hell out of my house and never contact me again. That basically did it for me. I tried to find a decent woman to wife. I failed, and now I would rather be alone than deal with how things are in the modern world. I was born 100 years too late to have what I wanted in life. A decent job, a cute wife, some good kids, a nice house, a real life, the life God wanted. That age of mankind appears to have vanished. And now we are left with the aftermath of society's choices. We are left with Bonnie Blue. I do not know how to fix this. I am not a sociologist. I am a guy who writes a newsletter about the Bible, cults, and technocratic fascist billionaire tech bros. But I know that something has gone very wrong when a pregnant woman can announce to the entire world that she is going to be gang-banged by 1,000 men and make $1 million in video sales off the event. We built a society that told women they could be anything. We forgot to tell them they did not have to be everything. We built a society that told men their only value was in what they could provide. And then we took away the thing they were supposed to provide for. And now we have a pregnant woman on camera with 1,000 men and a country that had to arrest her just to get her to leave. We are now stuck with Bonnie Blue, and I do not know how we get unstuck with her. Addendum, or the universe has a sick sense of humor. So, the thing happened. When I wrote the piece above, I did not know that Bonnie Blue's pregnancy gangbang bonanza was going to take place before I published. I assumed, naively, that there was some kind of planning involved. That a woman would not just, do the thing. That there would be a window, a grace period, a moment where the world could catch its breath before the next horror. There was not. The men did the deed. Bonnie did the men that did the deed. The deed occurred with Bonnie's unborn baby inside of her womb. The cameras have already rolled. I wrote about a thing that was going to happen, and by the time you read it, it already has. That is the world we live in now. The horror does not wait for the column about the whore. I am not rewriting the article to reflect the event has already happened. I already feel like vomiting, and rewriting it would require me to read it again. And reading it again would require me to think about it again, and I have done enough of that. Instead, here's a video from Balkan Gaines. That man says in a few words what it took me over 1,000 to say. I watched his series on Bonnie Blue, and it sent me down this whole rabbit hole in the first place. So it feels right to let him have the last word. He is a construction worker who makes motivational videos. He is not a journalist. He is not a sociologist. He is a man who has carried concrete blocks for a living. And he looked at this woman and said what any man who has carried concrete blocks for a living would say. I will not be commenting further on this subject. I have said my piece. The universe has said its piece. The universe's piece was worse.